Tom Hart from ESPN and the SEC Network. He at some point is going to put down his phone and actually talk to us.
I keep forgetting we're also on video.
I know how my wife feels now. Would you put the phone down and talk to us? Sure. Sorry about that. Wasn't trying to be inconsiderate.
It's not like I'm driving.
Yeah, no. Do whatever you want to do.
You're driving this show right now.
No, there's only one driver of the show.
What's up, my man?
Oh, I'm just so happy to be back at the confluence of European elegance and Southern hospitality known as the Winfrey Hotel.
When I think of luxury, having a Manchu Walk within 100 yards is high on my list.
Hey, at least Manchu Walk was open yesterday,
That's
which
true.
is not the same as the majority of the – sorry, I feel like I'm talking negatively about the River Chase Galleria.
That's quite all right. I mean, I won't let the manager of the Aeropostale know that, but otherwise it'll just stay
I
amongst
saw him
the
in
three
Hot
of us.
Topic looking for T-shirts last night.
So Haydad had an idea yesterday.
Yeah.
You want to tell me about it?
So my idea is this. I think –
Actually, he had two ideas. We shot a preview video for the show on the carousel yesterday.
That's very good.
I think we should do the massage chairs today.
Yeah, maybe.
But my idea was we both have to go shopping for our wives while we're here, but the other one gets to pick the store.
That is beautiful.
We're doing it. If Tom Hart says it's cool, it's cool.
I mean,
here's the
sending Haydad to Victoria's Secret to pick out something for his wife too generic, or that's the right play?
It's the right play.
Okay.
Do you know his wife, Jane?
Yes.
Lovely woman. I want to send him to Lane Bryant and try to tell him, I want you to try to explain to your wife, I thought you were 16. I didn't know. I might follow him back to Oxford just to watch him have that conversation.
Well, here's the beauty of it. Like, we always – I don't want to say always – typically, we make the wrong decision when we buy a gift. Anyway,
No, it's always.
So this is a defense mechanism. Like, the defense is built in.
Hey, Dad did this to me.
Yeah. I did the best I could with the tools that I was provided.
I thought you wanted something from Buckle.
Ooh. Well, you told me yesterday that Lids was an option.
Lids is a good option. I can't see her as a big baseball cap on. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Lids would be great. Although the last time I saw Jane, she was wearing a hat.
Yeah. Probably like a big
No, it was a ball cap.
hat.
Now, it was
Kentucky.
a custom ball cap from a summer vacation or a beach vacation.
That's
but
fair.
Yeah.
She
Something from the Diamondbacks.
She and my daughter went to D.C. this past weekend, and they went to this place called the Eastern Market, which is like they have a farmer's market on Sundays, and then they have shops and whatever. She likes hats, like not ball caps, like big hats.
Yeah, brims.
She has a hat that would make the ladies at the Kentucky Derby blush that she flew home with on the airplane. I'm sure that was fun for the surrounding passengers.
How do you travel with that?
You carry it.
Huh.
Like a baby.
Hey, you want a business idea? Maybe this exists, but I'm not sure that it exists in its best. She and I went on a trip this summer, and she was carrying a hat. You can't pack it, obviously. And she's like, I need a magnet where you can, like, strap it to the bag of your purse.
Yeah.
The strap of your purse.
Hat magnets.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we condense Hagnets? I can't make it work.
Hagnets.
Yeah.
Hatnet.
Congratulations. I just want $1
million idea.
Yeah. Let's go on Shark Tank tonight.
Cole Kubelik says you're traveling this year.
What does he know? When did he become the executive vice president of college football at ESPN?
He just got that promotion today.
Interesting.
They haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, it's coming across.
Hey, everybody else is getting extensions at ESPN, it sounds like.
Apparently. You know where you fall, like when you sign an extension and they don't put out a press release. That's it is clear
Does that
as
mean
day
you are
where I
now
stand.
behind Peter Burns and Alyssa Lang and Dari Noka?
There is no question
They
about
put
it.
Tom's extension on Snapchat.
Yeah, it has disappeared.
But you have to be thrilled if you're going back on the road. Because I could hear it in your voice. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but you were doing these games, and I could tell you wanted to be at these games. And it was just
So I think relevant to this audience, especially one of the few games that I got to travel to was Lane's clipboard throw, play sheet throw. And that doesn't happen from a broadcast standpoint for a number of different reasons if I'm doing the game from my basement. Number one, I don't see it because he's just he may not even have been on screen when it happened, and I don't recognize that it's a play sheet that goes up in the air. I think that was like an 85-yard touchdown pass to Ely. And number two, you just don't have that camaraderie or that excitement or to use, since we're here, some French, the joie de vivre to go, wow, hey, look how much fun that was. No, I'm sitting in my basement. So that doesn't happen, and you don't get this great TV moment that Lane's able to retweet and cash in on and have fun with. So, yes, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Is there a location in particular you miss the most? Please don't say Oxford because his head is already big enough.
Yeah, but I already know.
I was, to add balance, I was furious that we weren't allowed to travel for super regionals. And along those lines, would have very much, I would have been in baseball heaven if I could have gone to Starkville. I thought the Notre Dame matchup would have been, listen, there are 41,000 people there. Like, we know how cool it was. Any one location? No, because I've got favorite haunts at every spot and people that I haven't seen that I want to spend time with. And it's not just the game itself, but face-to-face with coaches, face-to-face with players. We learn so much. You learn about who people are and what they're doing. We did, by the way, since we're there. What game was that where he threw the play sheet? Was that Arkansas?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. I remember Jerry and Eli, we met with Lane, and then he left, probably violated a lot of protocol that meet in person at the time. But he's leaving the team room, and Jerry and Ely's walking in. And there was like an odd interaction between the two. And Jerry was like, all right, coach, like blind energy, be good, buddy. And Lane kind of shuffles off. And I go, hey, what's the relationship like? He goes, man, Ely says, I try so hard to get him to talk to me. He won't talk to me. He doesn't make eye contact walking down the hallway. He just has his head down. He goes, so every time I see him walking down the hallway, I know he doesn't want to talk to me. And to be clear, it's nothing personal. It's just Lane's personality, right? He said, so I will make a point to step in front of him and make him raise his eyes, and I'll go, hey, coach, how you doing today? And I will initiate a conversation because I know it's the last thing he wants to do. And I thought, you don't get that over a Zoom call.
Yeah. We were talking about that there is no greater personality difference between real Lane Kiffin and Twitter Lane Kiffin. They're two different guys.
Yeah. It reminds me, I have some friends that are incredible writers, and when they get a pen in their hand or they get over the keyboard, they are just as eloquent as can be, and then in person, the most awkward people you've ever met. But wait, where's that guy that wrote that column or wrote that book or that novel? Like, that's the dude I want to hang out. Now, he only exists in my den when I'm doing the writing.
It's like the place that Lane Kiffin is most comfortable is on a fishing boat.
You think he's more comfortable on a fishing boat or on a sideline pre-snap with his team with the ball?
Well, he knows he's got the right play dialed up, and he's got that play sheet cocked and ready to go.
Yeah. So to me, that's the most fascinating. I'm not ignoring your question. The most fascinating thing to me, because the way that Lane Kiffin calls plays is, I think there's a little bit of symphony to it, but it's looking ahead.
Yeah.
And he does things in the first quarter to set things up at the end of the third quarter. And will give a look so that he can see what kind of a look he's going to get a defense so that he can go back to that look knowing what he's going to get, but they put a different wrinkle in it. And that's the most animated you will see him is when he calls a play and gets the defense. And the flip side of that is you will not see him any angrier. Go back to Vanderbilt when they played Vanderbilt last play of the half. He's trying to score right before the half, where he gets the look against the defense he wants with the play call, and then they don't execute it. It's fascinating to kind of watch that dichotomy.
Yeah, because he can't understand how couldn't you execute that? I told you everything that was going to happen, and it happened, and you had it. To me, what's really interesting is the advantage that he gives his quarterback by being a step ahead, by being able to communicate what is going to happen and where it's coming and where it's coming from. But it's kind of like, and I don't think this is a stretch because I think he's the best play caller in college football. It's like Maddox setting up a hitter in the second inning. And he goes, I'm going to throw him my two-seamer and let it leak over the plate with the bases empty in the third to the 7-hole hitter. And then when I have him at the plate in the 8th or the 9th with 2 on, I'm going to throw that two-seamer that's going to look the same, but it's going to come off the black and be inside and he's going to chop it off his hands or just miss it. Like that's just elite level thinking and planning. And it takes a great memory, by the way, to be able to execute that stuff game in and game out.
What do you think that? You think it's just a feel?
Yeah, because it's like some people have a feel for foreign languages, right? And some don't. And some can.
No hablo español. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, he was dropping the French just a minute ago, so he's obviously that person.
I was the guy that got us arrested in Mexico in high school because I thought I knew the language better than I did. And I had completely misplaced confidence that I could speak the language. So sometimes it can be dangerous. But, yeah, I think it's a feel.
Press pause just for a second. Sports Talk Mississippi, streaming at supertalk.fm. We will continue with Tom Hart. Interesting place to press pause because the last thing that Tom Hart said before we went to the break, by the way, if he was on the phone, he'd be joining us on the Farm Bureau phone line.
He is on the phone.
Favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. He said, when we were in Mexico in high school, I was the guy that got us arrested. Because I couldn't
Sounds
speak
like a
the
country
language.
music song. Please continue.
That's fine. Tell me more.
All right, well, this is really the kind of story. I know it's happy hour in some places, but this is more of a happy hour story. Like to do it justice, we need like a bucket of long necks on ice.
What is in this coffee?
Not enough.
It's an Irish coffee.
I will leave a couple of key components out of the story just because of time constraints. But we drove to South Padre Island senior year of high school, and when you go to South Padre, there's a day trip to Mexico if you do it right. And being high schoolers, we wanted to get out of there before the sun set. We wanted to be as safe as possible. But they tell you there's 3 rules. Do not break these rules. Number 1, do not take a drink out of the bar. Number 2, do not take your shirt off in public. And number 3, if you're going to use the restroom, make sure you do it in a facility, not outside.
Feels like good rules for life, to be honest with you.
But tough to follow after you've had 6 buckets of Coronas, at least for some of my friends.
No well drinks. You say don't get a drink at the bar. That's what you mean?
No, you can't, don't take your drink outside of the bar. Open container rule is very strictly, like basically they're watching you, waiting for you to break any of these local laws so then they can throw you in the paddy wagon.
Okay, so don't drink outside of Senior Frogs. Keep your shirt on and don't go in the bushes.
Don't go on, yes.
Okay.
So I am following all the rules. We are making our trek back across the border. We're leaving the strip of bars. And a guy comes up to me. Turns out he's one of my buddies, but he's wearing all of the garb that people have purchased. So he's got 3 sombreros on, 4 vests, and 2 blankets around his shoulder. And he moseys up to me and goes, "Hey, man, your friends are getting arrested, man." I said, "Excuse me? Your friends right there. They're getting arrested, man." And I look, and sure enough, 3 of my buddies decided to relieve themselves behind a semi-truck that was conveniently parked in the corner to lure stupid Americans into this trap. And they're being taken to the paddy wagon where their license are being taken and then sold back for $50 a person.
So it's a shakedown.
It's a shakedown.
Okay.
Well, yes, but they violated the rules, and it was common knowledge. So I approached the arresting officer, and I explained to her, solamente un poquito. I speak a little bit of Spanish, pero no comprende que... and then I lose the words, "Why you're arresting my friends, mis amigos." She's like, "Como? No comprende que you're arresting." And then some curse words came out. I don't get it. I don't get it.
She understood that English, I'm sure.
She looked at me and she said, "Son, I speak English. What's your problem? Why'd you arrest my friends?" Because they were urinating behind the truck.
Pulling Elijah Moore behind the truck.
Yeah.
And Eli Manning.
And Eli Manning, if you will.
I said, "That is complete bull, blah, 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 blah." She goes, "Listen, it's $50 a person to get them out. And if you keep it up, I'll throw you back there with them." Well, why? And then I went, next thing you know, I'm back there with them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this a permanent record thing?
No. We were bailed out, literally and figuratively, by a DEA agent who was walking by the truck at the time with his school teacher wife. She took pity on us. This was the story. She took pity on us. She said, "Johnny, you got to go help these guys out." He presented the money on the front end, got us all out of there. We owed him $200. We could only produce $160. That's like high school. That's all we had.
The exchange rate is probably correct on that.
It's probably accurate. So he says to me and my buddy Jeff Jones, he's like, "You punks owe me $40. and I'm not leaving without it. Well, we're staying at the Holiday Inn in South Padre. You're welcome to follow us there. He goes, no.
I do have these sombreros and blankets I can offer you.
This guy says, no. I'm not letting you out of my sight. You two are coming with me.
This is a great story.
Wait. No, we're good. No, you don't understand. I'm DEA. You're coming with me. So now we're in the back of Johnny's big body Benz with Texas plates, traveling across the border. Well, yeah, traveling across the border and back to South
I kind of liked it when the Mexicans had us arrested a little better than this, if we're being honest.
I had more confidence in them doing the right thing. He is driving 120 miles an hour down this 2-lane highway. Our friends are struggling to keep up. Finally, his wife says, Johnny, you got to pull over. I need to relieve myself. Like, according to she can break the laws, whatever. We pull over. Everyone's hanging out in the ditch. My friends come running up. They said, what in the world is going on? I said, listen, here's the deal. He's DEA. He's got 5 guns in the car. He's got, I don't know. I said, I don't know how many drugs and how much drugs, but plenty for his business. I don't know if this guy's legit or not. When we get back there, go to the hotel room. No cell phones at the time. Go to the hotel room to get the cash, but call the cops first. Like, what could go wrong? We need local authorities there. Worst case scenario, it turns into something big. Best case scenario, we're all even Steven, pay him his $40 and go on our separate ways. We pull up, we park. He's still talking to us about his business, which is drug enforcement. 7 minutes later, we hear more sirens than a bank robbery. And this big body Benz that we're in is now surrounded by county sheriff, deputy, local police, 2 ambulances. And he looks at me and my buddy Jeff in the back seat, and with words I can't share on the radio, he goes, "You punk little kids, you called the cops on me." So, Johnny, I don't know what you're talking about. We haven't left the car. You won't let us leave the car. You're basically holding us at gunpoint. We haven't done any such thing. He goes, "No, I know you did. I know your friends did, and you're ungrateful little punks." About then, the sheriff comes up with his hand on his gun and peers into the car, says, "Driver, roll down your window." And he rolls down his window, and the sheriff peers in and goes, "Johnny, is that you? Alyssa, why is he driving? Johnny, you been drinking?" "Yeah, I've been drinking." "You shouldn't be driving. You have Alyssa. What's going on with these high school punks?" And he's like, "They owe me $40 and I want my money." The guy comes to the back window, taps his gun on the window, has me roll it down, and he goes, "You ungrateful little punks better get Johnny his money and do it now." Sir, listen, we were just trying to be careful. We don't know any better. We apologize. He goes, "And if I see any of you again, I'm going to arrest you." Shortly thereafter, our friend comes down with the money, apologizes profusely, hands him his $40. Fast forward 3 months, there is a massive drug bust in Columbia, Missouri. Unbeknownst to me, it's happening on this particular day. I am making a left-hand turn by the Dairy Queen. There's another car making a right-hand turn. It is a big body Benz with Texas plates, the kind of the bronzest yellow. I look at the window, out of my driver's window. That driver looks at me. That's Johnny. What is Johnny doing in Boone County, Missouri? I get to my buddy's house. "You won't believe who I just saw today." He goes, "You won't believe what happened." I go, "No, you got to listen to me. I just saw Johnny from South Padre, the guy that held us captive and bailed us out from the Federales." He goes, "Oh, by the way, the biggest drug bust in the history of our county went down this morning." Same dude.
This is the greatest story this radio show will ever have. There's no topping it. I don't know what we would have to do. Somebody might actually have to be shot in the leg.
So do you believe in Ed Ogeron and LSU this year? Or?
Segue.
Yeah, how do we get to that? Wow. Anyway, were you guys
Johnny,
prepared for that
put
one?
him in a body bag. Wow.
That's a great story.
So then,
I can't believe you hadn't told that before.
Yeah, I break it out every once in a while, but to do it right, it takes a while. Here's the kicker. I was just telling a new friend that story a few months ago, and he said, "So let me get this straight. Same guy who bailed you out of the Federales happened to just randomly take an interest in you in South Padre. His
wife did.
Yeah, his wife did. These Missouri kids vacationing who got themselves into trouble, and he's the one that executes this humongous drug bust months later." Yeah, and he goes, "Is that the first time you've ever been tailed by a federal agent?" What are you talking about? Hey, because you really think it's coincidence that this guy just happened to be in Matamoros, Mexico, the same day and time that you and your whole crew was, and his wife just happened to, you think you're that special that his wife just happened to take an interest in you and your three buddies?
Is there anything you need to admit about your high school activities?
Surely the statute of limitations is over on this.
We won't say anything to anybody from
Anybody
ESPN.
else beyond this broadcast that we have recorded for posterity.
No. Meaning,
No, that's what he just
meaning,
It's like,
no.
all of a sudden I don't have words.
the people on the periphery. I think there's a guy named Jim White. Just strike that name from the record.
Yeah.
Who
Black.
who was part of the drug bust, who was like a peripheral friend of ours, and I believe listen, this is like 25 high school students. I believe he was on that vacation. So it took us 20 years to do the math.
Did you tell your parents you got arrested when you got home?
No. My brother told them.
Oh.
When we got in a fight 3 months later, he said, well, hey, at least I'm not the one that got arrested in Mexico.
Mom's ears perk up?
Yeah, she took an interest in that one. My grandpa got arrested, so I told him the whole story. He thought it was hysterical.
It is hysterical. It is hysterical.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for your time.
Great to be back.
College football.
Sports Talk Mississippi from SEC Media Days. We got more coming up. X's and O's. This is where you